Are your lingering depression symptoms getting in your way? If you're on an antidepressant for major depressive disorder, MDD, and you've made some progress, but your unresolved symptoms leave you feeling stuck, it may be time to ask your doctor about Vraylar, cariprazine. Vraylar is a prescription medicine approved for use with antidepressant medicines to treat MDD in adults. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. Results may vary. Build on the progress you've already made. Ask your doctor if adding on Vraylar to your current antidepressant could help give you a lift in relief. Vraylar is not approved in elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis or for people under 18. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Difficulty moving, tremors, slow or uncontrolled body movements, restlessness, feeling like you need to move around, nausea, constipation, insomnia, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are common side effects. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. For a lift in relief, ask about adding Vraylar, Vraylar. Visit Vraylar.com or call 1-877-6-VRAYLAR to learn more.
When it comes to business, the people who succeed tend to be the people who seek out partners with skills or knowledge that they don't have. And that's what Lenovo's free online membership program, Lenovo Pro, can do for small businesses. If you're not a tech expert, that's where Lenovo can help. So you can add Lenovo's team to yours and then lean on them for all your tech questions for free. Visit Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro to sign up for free. That's Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro.
Lenovo.
1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience domestic abuse in their lifetime, and nearly half of survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina started the Purple Leash Project to help eliminate one of the many barriers domestic abuse survivors face: a lack of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters across the country, so abuse survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to get involved.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
You know that feeling when you walk into your home, take a deep breath, and feel new? Well, that's what it's like to use Clorox Scentiva. Because Clorox Scentiva smells like coconut, cleans like Clorox, and feels like energy. It'll elevate any cleaning routine to not just clean, but also make every room smell like a tropical coconut getaway. Discover how Clorox Scentiva's powerful clean and refreshing scents can transform your space. Get yours in coconut or other fabulous scents at a nearby retail store.
Episode 445, I deserve mentality is financially toxic.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And today we are talking about this mentality that we often have to rationalize or justify purchases, where we say to ourselves, I deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to flip it on its head a little, because a lot of the times when people say, no, you don't deserve that if you can't afford it, where we say, no, you actually deserve more than what you think you deserve. And by the end of this episode, we want you to understand why, and why this I deserve mentality is actually limiting you from what you truly deserve.
Yeah, not to say that you don't deserve anything, or
you deserve
that
it
you
all.
are not worthy or worthwhile, and we'll get into that. But kind of poking some holes in the ways in which we kind of talk to ourselves and allow ourselves to enjoy little pleasures.
Little treats. But first, this episode is brought to you by Little Fires Everywhere. No, not the book or the TV show, but the internal fires you are putting out every day. If you feel like the decision of what to buy and what not to buy is one of those little fires, then have we got a hose for you. Buy What You Love Without Going Broke is our book on values-based spending. It will help you navigate how to spend money without guilt, shame, or brokenness. So head to buywhatyoulovebook.com to pre-order your copy, and you'll get all the free gifts that come with pre-ordering. And we have some classes coming up about saving money on transportation, saving money on home renovations, rent, home buying, and then our two favorites are at the very end. Building a full year meal plan and a full year spending plan. So buywhatyoulovebook.com. These are free classes, free demonstrations you will not want to miss.
It's the hose you didn't know you needed.
Is that, that drink of cool water at the end of summer. At the end of summer, putting out those little fires that are everywhere.
I've been having fun with these live events too. These little incentives and bonuses for pre-ordering the book. They've been enjoyable because the best part is we're not selling people anything. You're not joining so we can hopefully get you to do something for us. This is our thank you to you for having bought the book. And it just is so fun.
Yes. So if you are interested in kind of spending psychology and spending mindset, then we have a ton of episodes for you. We also have distilled it into our book, buywhatyoulovebook.com. But some episodes you can queue up in the meantime while you're waiting for the book to ship. Episode 383, Overcoming Emotional Spending with Megan Dwyer, and episode 397, How Cognitive Biases Cause Us to Overspend with Amanda Montel. That was a very fun one. And I love talking about complexity bias and how it causes us to always try to add more to solve our problems instead of just simplifying all the time. Even still, like me today, I still will initially just try to add something to solve the problem, and I have to stop myself and just contemplate simplicity first. So it's always good to have the reminder, even when you feel like you know the answer, to have a reminder, a good thing.
But stick with us here because we're talking about something a little bit spicy here. The article we're going to go through is by Katie Rossler, and it is titled Questioning Your Worth, the I Deserve This Fallacy. And she essentially talks through this mindset of I deserve this, that thought that creeps in when maybe we're eyeing up purchasing a new outfit or contemplating celebrating with an expensive meal or binge watching our favorite TV show instead of going to bed when we really probably deserve sleep. And really talks a lot about kind of growing up in the United States. I know we have listeners all over, but the majority of you are in the US. And I think we see this mindset most prevalent here in the States of using this mentality to kind of give freedom or find leeway. There really isn't a whole lot of freedom to it, actually, but it's what makes us feel like justification in making some of these decisions that can ultimately not actually be great for our wallets. They're not creating the greatest of habits for us, and can kind of lead to this exchange that we then enter into with ourselves. I think that's the biggest hole to poke here, is that we then see it as, oh, I have to earn this thing. I need to be able to deserve it in order to have it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's important to remember that the things that we just take for granted that are socially acceptable to purchase or to just have or consume never naturally got there. The things that are cultural norms always started out as marketing campaigns. So even down to like eating eggs at breakfast. People didn't just come over to America eating eggs at breakfast. That was a marketing campaign from, I guess,
Big Egg.
From Big Egg. From Big Chicken.
Yes.
I don't know. But it was a marketing campaign either by that or by Big Bacon. I don't remember. And it's the same with the I deserve mentality. The marketing campaigns that say you deserve it, you deserve this, you deserve that, they are, for decades and decades, different companies have been using it. And so that's how it's so ingrained in us. It's not something that is just natural to our humanity. So recognizing that first and foremost, then you can move on from that and be like, okay, this may feel natural. It's not natural, it's normal. And so we don't have to go against what's natural to go against what's normal.
And that's not to say that we are discounting at all intrinsic value or worth. It's recognizing that a lot of times the I deserve this mentality is attaching value or worth to having achieved something first in order to deserve it, right? I had to have a long day in order to allow myself to binge watch TV. I have to have already deprived myself so much from buying new things that now I feel like I deserve this treat of a new outfit. I have to feel as though I've practically starved myself, so now I deserve. So it usually the unhealthy way of approaching this mentality is it's attached to our deeds and whether or not we've done enough to then give ourselves this type of reward. But the problem with then the types of rewards that we attach to it is that it's creating overspending, impulse spending, some of these unhealthy habits for ourselves, our sleep, our nutrition, and it can ultimately lead to overall dissatisfaction. It doesn't actually land at what we truly do deserve. And so I think, as with all things, finding that radical middle of detaching ourselves from this I deserve mentality without letting go of the recognition that we do have intrinsic worth and value. There are things we deserve. They just don't need to be attached to a narrative of what have you done, what have you accomplished.
Yeah, and on the same wavelength, realizing that what you deserve is more than a little treat. What you deserve is more than this thing someone is marketing you to. We use it, that just made me think of, like, we use a lot of rationalization to justify our actions and our purchases. And I have been waiting on this new laptop backpack for several weeks. I don't have Amazon Prime, so I don't have 2-day shipping. So I've had to wait. And I keep telling people about this and slipping up and saying, like, yeah, I needed a new laptop backpack, when in reality, I didn't need it. We say need to justify, like, we have to earn our purchases in some way. The fact is I wanted a new laptop backpack. The one I have right now is disintegrating. I never zip up my backpacks. So this one just flaps all the way open. And the one I bought, like, even if I don't zip it up, it'll still kind of stay closed. And I wanted that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting things. And so often we use words like, oh, I need to upgrade this, or like, I need, a new this or that, or a bigger this, or I deserve this because I did this. Like, we can separate our needs and what we quote unquote deserve. Like, we have to take those words almost out of the equation to really be neutral about what we're buying.
And give space to be able to spend on wants. It's not about only spending on needs or only achieving something that you feel you deserve, but really recognizing your values are worth honoring. Your life is worth honoring. And what is the best way of showing value and honor to your season, to your finances, to your wants and needs? Because those two are very blurry, to be honest with you. and then be able to allocate in that way rather than kind of attaching it in this more kind of twisted way. One of the quotes in here that I wanted to highlight that I found pretty helpful in teasing apart this idea, they say, in challenging the I deserve this mindset, we can begin to create a life marked by real enjoyment and well-being, which is what we truly deserve. We can break away from the cycle of overspending and unhealthy choices and journey towards a healthier, smarter, and happier life. We can create the life we have always wanted by no longer giving into the I deserve this voice.
Mm-hmm. We are often conditioned to think we deserve things when we deserve so much more. And focusing on those things really does get us to the thing we deserve, not a poor substitute for it.
I also want to highlight some of these helpful questions that they outline in the article on figuring out kind of how to retrain our minds. And so one of them is, where is the I deserve this voice so strong that it takes control of what you do? So what are the areas in which you find yourself saying, I deserve this the most often? And it'll probably be pretty indicative of maybe what's going on in your life at the moment, what feels the most stressful, maybe potentially where your values lie, or maybe where your impulse spending happens to be. But asking that first question will be really enlightening. And then from there, considering, how has this voice made you question your worth by thinking you deserve things only when you've earned it or you've had a bad day? So how has the voice made you question that? And again, teasing these things apart.
If you're like me and you have a couple gals depending on your income, then you should seriously consider having life insurance. It's as simple as that. A term life insurance policy from Fabric can give you the peace of mind that the people dependent on you will have some financial support if something unexpected happens, like falling out of a tree stand. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done right here, right now. You could be covered right from your couch in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. Fabric was designed by parents for parents. And now they partner with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families just like yours for over 50 years. They have over 1,900 five-star reviews on Trustpilot with a rating of excellent. Fabric has more than life insurance, free digital wills, investment accounts to invest your kids' future, and more. You can manage it all right there from your phone. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/TCL. That's meetfabric.com/TCL. MEET, fabric.com/TCL. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Price is subject to underwriting and health questions.
Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. Maybe that's because so much of your personal information is out of your control. Like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information is vulnerable. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve identity theft issues on your behalf, guaranteed, or your money back. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You might not be able to control how others handle your personal information, but you can help protect it with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/iHeart. That's 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com/iHeart. Terms apply.
When it comes to business, the people who succeed tend to be the people who seek out partners with skills or knowledge that they don't have. And that's what Lenovo's free online membership program, Lenovo Pro, can do for small businesses. If you're not a tech expert, that's where Lenovo can help. So you can add Lenovo's team to yours and then lean on them for all your tech questions for free. Visit Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro to sign up for free. That's Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro.
Lenovo. Are lingering depression symptoms affecting you? If you're on an antidepressant and still struggling with lingering depression symptoms, ask your doctor about a lift in relief with Vraylar, cariprazine. Vraylar is a prescription medicine approved for use with antidepressant medicines to treat major depressive disorder, MDD, in adults. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. Results may vary. Vraylar is not approved in elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis or for people under 18. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Difficulty moving, tremors, slow or uncontrolled body movements, restlessness, feeling like you need to move around, nausea, constipation, insomnia, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are common side effects. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. For a lift in relief, ask about adding Vraylar, Vraylar. Visit Vraylar.com or call 1-877-6-VRAYLAR to learn more.
Okay, let's talk now about some of the ways that we can think differently, because we're not just about deprivation, right? Or like eliminating something out of our thinking patterns, but then replacing it with things.
Yeah. And that's really the goal of replacing challenging this I deserve mentality, is to replace it with something more positive and healthier. And so we are going to look at another article. And this one is from Fitz Villafuerte. And
wow, well done.
Okay, thank you.
We don't speak Spanish, but she's trying.
I deserve mentality, dealing with this harmful money mindset. And a lot of people, maybe not a lot, I think a lot of people do really talk negatively about the I deserve mindset and really make us feel a lot of shame and guilt. So when we've had a long day and we want to treat ourselves, we feel like guilty for treating ourselves. And so how can we still, quote unquote, treat ourselves to something that really gets at the root cause of either our exhaustion or our stress? Thinking about asking those questions like, what is happening? Where is this I deserve voice so strong? Why is it strong?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to really treat the root cause and not just the symptom?
Yeah. This article gives, I think, just two helpful areas to consider. The first is practicality over recklessness. So we're not talking about not caring for ourselves or allowing ourselves to engage in things that are going to be life-giving or restful to us, but really being certain and intentional about what those things are. So they give some helpful examples here of, let's say that ahead of time, this week is going to be pretty stressful for me. I've got multiple events, important meetings scheduled. And so you have decided that you will care for yourself then at the end of the week by engaging in something that's enjoyable. That may still be carving out time to watch your favorite TV show or eat your favorite meal, whatever it may be. It just is shifting the mindset a bit and detaching it from, no, I've earned this, I deserve this, I'm going to treat myself, to how can I best care for myself and meet my needs that I'm anticipating are going to be happening for me. It's not as if all of the actions are even changing that dramatically, but I think the mindset is a massive shift that can be a lot more kind to ourselves and a lot more intentional giving much more forethought to what will I then need. It's similar to our finances, right? Like I see these things coming. How can I prepare for them? We can't prepare for everything, but what's going to be the best way to meet this need with my money? What's going to be the best way to meet this need with my time? And wherever we can kind of plan ahead and think through rather than having a knee-jerk or impulsive reaction, really measuring ourselves in the same ways that we measure our finances, measuring our emotional and relational capacities and currencies of what will this cost me and how can I then care for myself as a result of this? Not just because I deserve this treat, but I deserve to be cared for. I deserve to meet my needs head on and not kind of grasp for them and take guesses at them and be told what's going to meet my needs, have somebody else tell me what I deserve. Like I get to decide that and what's going to most care for me in the midst of whatever my days, weeks, and months hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Similarly, we deserve to honor our season as well. So maybe it's not an external reward, but maybe it's buying pre-prepped food from the grocery store so that you don't have to cook during a busy week. Or not that you don't have to cook, but you don't have to prep. You can just throw things on a sheet pan into the oven, stuff like that. I deserve to have rest with my family and not feel guilty that I'm not cleaning or renovating or doing something like that. So I think really like reframing this, yes, okay, I deserve, but what do I deserve? And naming it, writing it down. What do I deserve? And it's going to look small at first, but it's going to get bigger the more you practice it. It's something like knowing what you truly deserve comes almost with like in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like ascending to that self-actualization portion, like feeling like you're living in your full potential. That's kind of where we're getting at when we're practicing, what do I deserve? What do I truly deserve? And we've got to practice that a lot before we can get to what is truly going to make me feel like I'm living in my purpose. And so the other point in this article is rewarding yourself with what you truly deserve. And I'll just say, so often we only talk about external motivators and external rewards, especially in personal finance, because those are just the easiest things to talk about. So I have a rough day. So on Friday, I'm going to treat myself to a dinner out. On the weekend, I'm going to treat myself to, the farmer's market, what have you. But truly, external rewards only last for so long. They only work for so long. If you've ever tried to go on a diet, if you've ever tried to pay off debt, if you've ever tried to do anything big where you've only prioritized rewarding yourself with external rewards, you'll find that within a few weeks to a few months, it's just not doing it for you anymore. It's not worth doing the hard thing to get that external reward. The only reason we should be pursuing external rewards is to develop internal motivators. So these internal joys that we will do something for the sake of doing it. So it took me a while to embrace frugality because I didn't like saving money in a bank account for the sake of having big numbers on a screen, right? For an unknown future. I really love and I'm obsessed with frugality now because I know my actions are really great for the environment. They're really great for my health and my home to keep it simplified and uncluttered. It helps me with my schedule. There's less cleaning. Like there are so many internal benefits that I have recognized over, 8 years of doing this that now it is a joy for me. But at first, I had to develop that. And so going back to the practicing what you deserve, you can start out with these, little treats if that's something you're doing a lot right now. But just make a plan to phase out of them as you are working on developing almost, I don't want to say it's like self-worth, but just definitely like knowing more and more like what you deserve.
I think at least making sure what are the little treats attached to. I think this is really similar to our values-based spending conversation. Are the coffees, the dinners, the impulse spending, are they attached to actual values that you have, or are they just kind of floating out and not really truly meeting the need? So again, it could be that you still engage in some of these same practices, but you have a greater level of awareness of why you're doing them, the ways that they are meeting your needs, fulfilling you. Or maybe you're deciding that there's shifts you're going to make. There's replacements that are going to happen because no, it doesn't actually give you the thing that you deserve. It leaves you feeling like you feel guilt about spending on that. You regret purchasing that thing, or it didn't actually provide you the rest that you wanted. And so this is much more of a call to what's actually valuing to us in the ways that we spend our money. And I think even overarching, like as it relates to finances, I deserve to be debt-free. I deserve to be able to invest in my retirement accounts. I deserve to be able to afford a roof over my head. I deserve to be able to purchase healthy, nutritious groceries and a few things that my taste buds just really like on the side. I do deserve some chippies with a sandwich.
Chippies.
And so do you, Jen.
I know. You deserve chippies.
Yeah. And I know what that's attached to. And it is just giving myself joy in the middle of the day alongside my lunch.
A little salty, crispy joy.
Yeah. And I think when we can create this pause and slow down a little bit and kind of question a little bit of our narrative, what we're saying to ourselves, the reasons that we're allowing ourselves to spend, we can then make those better spending decisions, those better habit decisions that we can feel really good about and actually benefit us. Do you know what else benefits us every single time?
That we truly deserve, that this is a core value of your worthiness.
The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hi, Jen and Jill, longtime listener, first-time caller. I absolutely love these Bill of the Week portion of the podcast, and I've always wanted to submit something. And while my submission isn't necessarily a bill, it is a tip that I wanted to pass on to the Frugal Friends community and share how I was able to get $907.04 from the Treasury Department. Now, I don't remember if I got this tip from the Frugal Friends community, but I wanted to check it out myself before spreading the word. But if everyone goes to missingmoney.com, they can check this website to see if they have any unclaimed properties that belongs to them. Missingmoney.com is the official unclaimed property website of the National Association of State Treasurers. All you need to do is go to this website, search by your name, check to see if it might be under former names as well, and what states you've lived in, and see if you are owed any money by the Treasury Department. When I looked, I've lived in a couple of states and have various different loans that have been out there. But when I looked, I was able to find $907.04 from an old car loan and an old apartment leasing company that still owed me funds. So that was a fun little check to get about a month or so after I was able to verify my identity.
Oh my gosh. We love missingmoney.com. We found out about them from Lisa Rowan, who we have had on the show. She is a professional mentor of mine. She proofread our book. She is the author of Money Hacks, and years ago told us about Missing Money. And I cannot tell you how many listeners have listened to that episode and the replay of it we did several years later. and have found money on that site. It's not a fluke. It's not a scam. It is legit.
It is the U.S. Department of Treasury's website that they are connecting you to. And it is what happens when people, usually various companies, businesses, organizations, aren't able to reimburse you your money for whatever reason. They don't actually have your address or your contact information anymore. You've stopped service with them too long ago that now that they are realizing that they owe you back certain amounts of money. And so it then gets just reported to the U.S. Treasury. There is, I want to say, is it millions of dollars of kind of like unclaimed funds? So it's huge. It's a lot of money that is unclaimed. And nearly everyone that I know who has checked out the website, either they or a friend or family member has this missing money. And it's very similar examples to what our Bill of the Week caller just shared, like insurance reimbursements, or you canceled out a credit card and then you got a refund, or your landlord owed you money back. Who knows what it is, but this is then where that money gets reported to. And once you can verify your identity, you get a check in the mail.
Inactive stock and brokerage accounts, unclaimed safe deposit boxes. They say there are millions of properties, so not like actual homes or anything, but millions of claims totaling billions of dollars. They reclaimed $3 billion in paid claims in the last year. And 1 in 7 people have unclaimed property. $2,080 is the average claim value. So if you have not been to missingmoney.com, get in there, get your money, and use $25 of that money to head to buywhatyoulovebook.com and buy our book as a thank you.
Yes.
Please.
I was going to say leave us a review as a thank you if you've gotten money, but I like that one better. Yeah. That's so
We've
good.
essentially paid for the book from this.
Yes. If you learn the tip from us, that's the way you can just give us a little bit of a thank you, a little bit of a kickback.
It's not required. You're still our friend, but it's the nice thing for a friend to do.
If you are listening and you have a bill that you want to share, if it's about finding missing money or paying off a bill or a bill you don't mind paying, or your name is Bill, we want to hear from you. frugalfriendspodcast.com/Bill. We can't wait for it.
Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file. Abbott Diabetes Care. Per prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
When it comes to business, the people who succeed tend to be the people who seek out partners with skills or knowledge that they don't have. And that's what Lenovo's free online membership program, Lenovo Pro, can do for small businesses. If you're not a tech expert, that's where Lenovo can help. So you can add Lenovo's team to yours and then lean on them for all your tech questions for free. Visit Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro to sign up for free. That's Lenovo.com/Lenovo Pro.
Lenovo. Just a few years ago, only 3% of domestic violence shelters accepted pets, meaning many abuse survivors had to choose between staying in a difficult situation for their pet or leaving their pet behind. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience domestic abuse in their lifetime, and nearly half of survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina believes in the healing power of pets, particularly for survivors of abuse. They believe pets and people are better together, which is one of the many reasons they started the Purple Leash Project. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping break down one of the many barriers abuse survivors face: the lack of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters. Purina has helped increase the amount of pet-friendly shelters across the country from 3% to nearly 20% through the Purple Leash Project. With more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters, survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to get involved.
Are lingering depression symptoms affecting you? If you're on an antidepressant and still struggling with lingering depression symptoms, Ask your doctor about a lift in relief with Vraylar, cariprazine. Vraylar is a prescription medicine approved for use with antidepressant medicines to treat major depressive disorder, MDD, in adults. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. Results may vary. Vraylar is not approved in elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis or for people under 18. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Difficulty moving, tremors, slow or uncontrolled body movements, restlessness, feeling like you need to move around, nausea, constipation, insomnia, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are common side effects. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. For a lift in relief, ask about adding Vraylar, Vraylar. Visit Vraylar.com or call 1-877-6-VRAYLAR to learn more.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness. And there are a lot of different ways. Happiness is unique to each individual. But living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start. Before they start is an important part, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. So for a happier, healthier you, use Colgate Total and actively help prevent oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities. You'll be happy you did. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
And now it's time for the lightning round. Pew, 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 pew.
We should do a friend letter about missing money.
Oh,
get that in a
that's
Wednesday.
a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
If you guys have ideas for friend letters, Wednesdays is our Saving Hacks email. And so we do stuff like this on Wednesdays. If you have freebies that you know of, you got to give it to us that's a little harder because those are a little more timely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Mondays.
Yeah.
So we are totally open. Jill at frugalfriendspodcast.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my email address she's given out.
Yep. Giving you hers, not mine, because it's not my forte anymore.
Yeah, no, please do email me.
All right. Today's lightning round. What is the most recent thing you thought you deserved? So it didn't have to be something you bought, but you just thought you deserved it. Jill?
Oh, man, I was going to tell you to go first.
Ooh. I don't know if I thought I deserved this. I did buy a Starbucks drink through the drive-thru last week. So kindergarten, it's the third week of kindergarten. And we had, out of 10 days, only of the first 2 weeks, only one did Kai not kick and scream. And then this week he did it one day. And today was the third day in a row that he went in on his own. And my gosh, so proud. But last week I was kind of at the height of my, because it's just me getting both kids ready in the morning, and I go to bed dreading waking up, having to drag him into a place he doesn't want to be. And I was at my breaking point by this time last week, and I deserved a little treat.
Yeah. And did you get yourself a little treat?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's when seasons are short and it's a $6 treat, once, I know what the root cause of my stress was.
Yeah.
And I just had to wait it out. Right.
Yeah.
And I gave myself a little treat in that. It's not like an unhealthy coping mechanism I have every single Thursday.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in that. And so yeah, I think maybe that is, I didn't justify it because I deserve it. I justified it because I knew dang it, this has been a rough 2 weeks and I'm going to reward myself with a little coffee. And then I left my family and walked around Publix.
Where did you leave your family?
I don't know. on the side of the road.
The children
At
were
home.
watched. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
They were being parented by
They
somebody.
have a father, Jill. They have a
Just
father.
making sure. That's why this conversation is so nuanced, though, because we aren't saying that we can't reward ourselves or we can't celebrate. I think it's really just pairing it with the intentionality and the preparation for it, knowing this is coming up and I'm giving myself permission to spend or do XYZ in light of these things, rather than this kind of constant habitual, I deserve this. And then it's not even a treat anymore because we just have talked ourselves into spending, and it never actually hits the root of the problem.
I knew the route and I was pursuing the route, but en route to that destination, which it seems like we've gotten to, there was just a little pick-me-up that I wanted, not needed. I wanted it, and I did it for me.
Yeah. I think I experienced as healthy of a version of the I deserve this as possible recently, like where I've kind of come to. I am definitely a person who typically has a hard time kind of receiving things or spending money on myself. So I think for me, some of the barriers are like allowing myself that opportunity to be able to receive something or spend on something. So it was just my birthday a couple weeks ago. And Eric and I went out to a pretty expensive restaurant. It was a steakhouse that people said is really good. And I knew we were going to spend a significant amount of money on dinner. And we did. And it did feel like kind of guilt-free. But I will say I kind of used that, like, I don't know if I actually said like, I deserve this, but it was something along those lines of maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the like flipping the script of it's okay to value myself in this way.
Yeah, I don't think the lightning round is using deserved as like a negative term. Think like...
I mean, I wrote the question.
Oh. Usually Goldie writes it.
I know.
I don't know what the author's intent was, but I don't. Yeah, you deserve it. It was for your birthday.
Yeah, but I think that I'm actually reworking the wording, right? Speaking of wording, to be, it's okay to value myself like this. I have permission to enjoy this. I really enjoy a good steak. I think it's hard to make good steak. It's not something I'm the best at home. So to be able to spend on that and celebrate this milestone of being middle-aged now.
Here's something fun. I was a vegetarian for 10 years. And today, I think the one thing that I make that Travis likes more than anything is steak. I make a really good steak.
Yeah.
And Travis says so. He usually says nothing about my cooking. And
he just keeps his mouth shut and eats the food.
Yes. And he actually has nice things to say about my steak.
Yeah. Well, we also asked this question in the friend letter. It wasn't linked in this email, but I'm trying to pull it up. In 826's email, this poll, if you can try and find it, Jen, I'll review what question we asked to all of you. So if you're not getting the friend letter, definitely sign up for it, frugalfriendspodcast.com. We're in your email. Like Jen said, let me know what kind of topics you want us to cover in the friend letter. Send me an email. But we put a poll at the end of them that we usually try and reference in our episodes. So the most recent question that we asked related to this concept is, what do you feel you're most deserving of?
This was funny.
So the options were a good night's sleep, a healthy meal, $20, or a clean kitchen. What did the people say? Did you find it?
Overwhelmingly, everyone deserves a good night's sleep.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, overwhelmingly. And then the second, by a large margin, not even close, was a clean kitchen.
Interesting. What would you have said?
I deserve it all.
Yes.
That's what I say. There was no option for all of the above, though.
I want all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
I mean, I am really motivated by money. I would have probably said it $20. Nothing would thrill me more than just to find $20 on the ground. I'm always on the lookout.
Yeah.
You know this. I'm always looking for money.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, like some of the answers, because you can give an explanation after you answer a poll. One of them was like, I had a hard time with this question because my first impulse was to look for a nothing option. Because very often we feel like we don't deserve anything, that we have to work for everything
that's
we
not the
get.
message of us
And that's
saying
not the
get rid of the
message.
I deserve this mentality. We're not saying that. We're saying just focus it accurately, aim it accurately.
And the truth is there should have been an all option because we are worthy of and deserve all of these things.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's important that we really do look at how we think about what do I deserve simply because I exist, and not looking at it in a way of like, I only deserve what I work for, or like I have to justify everything I purchase with these words like I deserve or I need, So I hope that's the biggest takeaway from this episode, and that we will, when you're catching yourself saying something like, oh my gosh, I so need this today, or I'm going to do this because I deserve it. Really think about, do you? Is this what you deserve? Or do you deserve something bigger? Do you need something bigger? Are you selling yourself short because of culturally, like, what is normal?
And the way that you care for yourself needs to be bigger, more congruent with your actual needs and values. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We also are so grateful for all of your kind reviews, like this one from Halams. Says, best budget podcast, happens to be 5 stars. One of my favorite podcasts to binge. Every episode leaves me feeling inspired to work on my financial journey, and I walk away with new non-cliche tips and advice that is obtainable for me to apply in my everyday life. I look forward to every new episode.
Yay!
Thank you, Halams. That's so kind.
Well, then I hope you really loved this one.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. And if you really enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a rating and review. It helps potential new listeners know what they're getting, these non-cliche, ways to really optimize our consumption.
Yeah, see you next time.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Sirianni. Jill.
Yes.
All right. We are in prime pumpkin season. We were just talking about this recently.
Are we? Okay. Yes. End of September.
Yes. So let's talk about pumpkin flavors, scents, fall. Where do you lie on the spectrum?
I don't hate pumpkin, but I am not obsessed with pumpkin.
Okay, whatever.
I will probably not go out of my way to engage in anything pumpkin, but if someone offers me something pumpkin, I'm here for it.
Okay, get out of my life. Now I'm talking to you.
No, you
listener.
are contractually obligated for me to not get out of your life.
Okay.
I'm here to stay.
Back in. I am that girl. I'm basic podcaster. And I love all things pumpkin. I'm here for pumpkin coffees, pumpkin breads, pumpkin donuts, pumpkin overnight oats, which we made on our meal prepping live. If you pre-order the book, you can still get that recording of our live meal prep demonstration that we did, where I made pumpkin overnight oats live. I love pumpkin, and pumpkin combined with a little cinnamon, nutmeg, like just those, quote unquote pumpkin spices, it sends me.
Now, back to one of your points that you made earlier. Was it in this podcast or another one?
Who's to say?
When everything that... how did you phrase it? Something like everything that we now know
culturally normal now
is culturally normal now has been marketed to us.
Started as a marketing campaign.
And holy smokes, could I say that that's true about this? But you made a statement while we were doing our meal prep live session for those who had pre-ordered our book, buywhatyoulovebook.com, about how you, apart from that, you just love pumpkin. And I want to know, do you think you would have found pumpkin and loved pumpkin as much if it hadn't have been for all these marketing campaigns?
What a great question. Probably not. I think the marketing definitely normalized pumpkin because pumpkin spice lattes aren't even my favorite pumpkin thing. I don't really order them. And those were really the gateway for everyone to accept pumpkin as culturally normal. And I just view it as a blessing. Marketing is not evil. Sometimes marketing paves the way for a better future. You know, like pumpkin spice lattes walked. So Trader Joe's could run with pumpkin. And I'm here for it. I go to Trader Joe's like twice a year, and I'm about to make my biannual pilgrimage.
You are on today. You're making me laugh so much.
I can't wear scarves and flannels and Uggs. Like, I can't be that basic bee because it's Florida. But like, pumpkin is in for me.
Here's the thing. The fall aesthetic just has been marketed to such an extreme too, that I wonder if there could be movements for other seasons to get people on board. Some of it might just be, okay, like what came first? I mean, it feels as though it's culturally normal now that just Caucasian females love fall. They're just in love with fall. And I feel like it's a marketing
love summer
tactic,
and spring.
But it's not to the same degree that fall has just vomited everywhere this time of year. Like, we don't get that with any other just season. Like, you've got the holiday seasons and whatever, that's its whole other category. But what if we could enter into spring, summer, and winter with this same fervor and vigor that fall has been marketed to us? And now it's getting me thinking, what could those things be? Like, yes, people love watermelon in the summer, but I don't think watermelon's getting its time in the sun in the same way that pumpkin is.
Well,
like,
summer is also an odd season here in Florida. I think up north, people savor it far more, and they hate fall.
Fall doesn't look the same all over either, though.
I don't want to say
we've got this
aesthetic
to fall.
Yeah. Fall doesn't exist in Florida, and maybe that's why I love
it gets a little
fall
cooler.
marketing.
Yeah.
Because I rely on Starbucks to tell me when fall has started.
Yeah.
I do. And once the pumpkin stuff comes out, then I know it's fall. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just less hot summer.
Yeah.
Or rainy summer.
Yeah. I just want to be introduced to new things. Like, I want different squashes. And I want more fruits to have their time.
While we still have our Sam's Club membership, it's up October 15th. They have just gotten their autumn squash soup, which is kind of a copycat from Panera of the best soup that ever existed.
Whoa.
It's a pumpkin squash soup. And
Stop it. It is not.
It's autumn squash.
Is it? Is it pumpkin squash?
Yeah.
Though? I just said I wanted other squashes and you come at me with pumpkin again.
And squash. Pumpkin's a gourd. Right? Pumpkin is a gourd.
I don't know.
They're all the same, but it's also got other squashes in it besides pumpkin.
But they really wanted to highlight the pumpkin. I'm just advocating for some newness, some freshness. I think the marketing campaigns need a refresh.
I really do think you need to try that autumn squash soup. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to. That's what I said. I'm not going to hunt it down, but if it's offered to me, I don't hate it. I'm here for it. I want to put these concepts into practice for other seasons. Like fall and pumpkins aren't the only thing that exists that bring us joy.
This is so true. Caramel apples. Apples, I think, had their decades in
Did
fall.
they?
Like
Okay.
apples just did it, and then people got tired of apples, and now it's pumpkin's turn. So give pumpkin its time, Jill.
Pumpkin's been here for about 5 years, I want to say.
I want to say like
But then
20
what do you
years.
think what would be winter? What could that bring?
Peppermint.
Okay.
It's peppermint, everything. Eggnog.
That's so true. Oh, I love it.
I also rely on Starbucks to tell me what flavors define each season.
You're going to be proud of us. Speaking of eggnog, we do love eggnog.
Oh, wow.
Every year we get Evan Williams eggnog. It's already spiked and it is the best thing on the market.
Yeah.
Evan Williams, but they sell out. So we got this literally last year around the holidays, we got 2 of these bottles because we were thinking we're going to be hosting people. We love this. This is a way that we enjoy celebrating. And we did not finish the second bottle, but kept it in the fridge. And we're like, this is alcohol. It really doesn't, it kind of preserves it. It doesn't go bad. But it now has sat there since December 2023.
It is August when we are recording this.
Is still in the fridge until yesterday because we're thinking, I don't know, will we ever have a hankering for eggnog? No, not in the dead of Florida summer. It has not happened.
I have thought about it several times, like when I've been over here. It's like, it's so good. Like,
should I? Yeah. And then Eric finally looked up yesterday, okay, how long does this specific stuff last? And it does say opened in the fridge lasts up to 6 months, but we are far past that. We are about 2 to 3 months past that 6-month mark. It smelled fine still, but we were like, but we're not going to drink it now. And when it comes Christmas time this year, are we going to feel good about it? Even if it smells fine? Probably not. And so what did we waste? $10? But we finally dumped it. We made room in our fridge. Yep. So you will no longer
one
see
thing
it.
that you wasted in your kitchen. The Evan
Could not
Williams
let
eggnog.
go of it, but also couldn't drink it. Couldn't live with it. Couldn't live without it. Classic. Oh, but bring back the eggnog this winter. I'm ready
Can't wait for it this season.
You know that feeling when you walk into your home, take a deep breath, and feel new? Well, that's what it's like to use Clorox Scentiva. Because Clorox Scentiva smells like coconut, cleans like Clorox, and feels like energy. It'll elevate any cleaning routine to not just clean, but also make every room smell like a tropical coconut getaway. Discover how Clorox Scentiva's powerful clean and refreshing scents can transform your space. Get yours in coconut or other fabulous scents at a nearby retail store.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Good sleep should come naturally, and with a new Natural Hybrid mattress, it can. A collaboration between Lisa and West Elm, the Natural Hybrid is expertly crafted from natural latex, natural wool, and certified safe foams to elevate your sleep sanctuary and support a greener tomorrow. Breathable organic cotton and moisture-wicking Joma wool consistently provide cool and comfortable slumber. Every purchase helps fuel Lisa's work with shelters and those in need. Visit lisa.com to learn more. That's LEESA.com. Oh, I just got my period. Do you have an extra tampon?
Sure. Let's see. I have a couple different brands. They should all only have a little bit of heavy metals in them.
Yep. In a recent study, metals were found in the top 17 tampon brands. Want to know which one wasn't on the list? Lola. Using only clean, organic, natural ingredients that are free from toxins and dyes. All products are gynecologist approved, like it should be. Natural ingredients means less itchiness and discomfort. And with their subscription service, you can sign up and never even think about running out of tampons again. Plus, Lola is focused on women's overall health and safety, providing not only period care products, but sexual wellness and vaginal care products as well. That's because Lola was actually founded by women, so they know what women want and need. It's time for Lola. By women, for all. Get 25% off with code LOLAVIP and see all that Lola has to offer at mylola.com.
While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa Corn Checkoff investments are working to foster industry connections to help companies replace petroleum with corn. Additional research is finding even more uses for corn and discovering new ways and practices to help farmers get the most out of their crop. The Iowa Corn Checkoff, working hard for Iowa's corn farmers. Go to iowacorn.org to learn more.